Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Building a Thriving Wellness Practice. I'm so super excited because we've got Nicole Cramer here with us. And this is an event to really help you build a thriving wellness practice that is low tech, high impact, and all soul. And as you know, we are now in the invite pillar. And you have heard from amazing women who have been giving you some information about each of the 6 pillars, from align to design to attract to nurture. And now that we've learned all these things, we get to go into the part that is going to be bringing more income into your business, because you have to learn how to invite people to work with you. And I handpicked Nicole. She is one of my mastermind besties. I adore her. We not only do business together, we do life together. And she truly is one of the best sales coaches out there. And I'm so excited to have her here. So thank you so much for being here with me, Nicole. I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you. And I love and adore you too. And I'm so happy to be here and just to speak to this audience and to share with them how they can go out there and make this world a better place. So thank you for having me here.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So one of the things that I know that Nicole and I have in common, and I think one of the reasons why we connected so deeply with each other as friends and also as a heart level, is that we really know that the more we help you create an amazing business, the more the world becomes a better place. The more people are living happier, healthier lives. And so, I really want you guys to take down some notes, really kind of tune into, how Nicole is teaching you how we get to be a stand for people living healthier lives. And that translates into a better world for all of us. So this is going to be such an amazing interview. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Cool. So for those of you that don't know, you should know, unless you're just joining us right now, but I'm Chris Williams. I'm a soulful business and leadership coach specifically for women wellness entrepreneurs, holistic practitioners. And again, it is my joy to bring you here for this summit. And one of the reasons why I really wanted to, have this summit is because there are so many different, the online world can be noisy. And I know that when I first was trying to build my coaching practice, there was a lot of information, and it wasn't really clear on what to do first, what to do second, what to do third. And so this is my opportunity to bring to you what it is that I wish I had had. And Nicole, I'm sure you probably feel the same way. I know that after you finished, going through health coach school, you're like, oh my gosh, which lever do I pull first?
Oh yeah.
So these 6 pillars are absolutely designed to give you the behind the scenes information so that you can really know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, that is going to propel you forward in your business.
Yeah.
So Nicole, I want to talk about heart-centered sales, because that is what you're known for. That is what you teach your clients. Nicole, by the way, is also one of my experts inside of Activate Abundance. We're so darn lucky to have her to teach this component of it. Tell me what that means to you. What does heart-centered sales and enrollment mean to you?
I always like to say it's more important to make the customer than it is to make the sale. And the reason that I fell in love with sales, I went into the corporate world of sales, and I was new. And when I was new, I had those same feelings that a lot of people do around sales when you've never done it. It felt uncomfortable to me. And what I started to learn, and what made me truly fall in love with it, is I realized it's all about building relationships with people and helping them solve a problem. And where it really came through powerfully for me is when I realized these people have this problem and they're going to find someone to help them solve it. Why shouldn't it be me? I care about them. I'm going to be there with them, holding their hand through the process. And ultimately I have integrity, and I want to take them through to help them get to that end point of, getting through what they can't get through on their own. So for me, that's really what it's always been about: building relationships with people and helping them solve their problem.
Absolutely. And I think that when people are starting out, brand new in their business, they're told just go out and make sales, go out and get clients. And, it's the mindset that we have around what really is enrollment or what really is a sale. It's not selling somebody into your 90-day program, 6-month program, 1-year program. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that mindset and that shift of what you actually perceive as sales makes such a huge difference when we're actually having conversations with people.
Yeah. The sale, I think a lot of people get confused about the difference between the sale and the actual transaction.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference. The sale is really the transfer of enthusiasm. You're
Mm-hmm.
passionate about what your body of work is. You're sharing from a place of knowledge and wisdom and experience that you've gathered. I mean, most of the people listening have probably been through their own painful journey to get to the point of wanting to help people. And many times, what we're helping people with is what we went through, what we got through on our own. And we figured out some solutions, some steps, some tips along the way. And now we're showing up and sharing with others. And that level of service, that level of providing value, that's really what the sale is. You're helping somebody see possibility. You're helping somebody see hope. And what people really want to buy is a better version of themselves. They don't like where they're at right now. They're stuck on what we call Pain Island.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know how to get off of Pain Island. But when they see us, they see possibility, they see hope, and they go, wow, she gets me. Because that's a big part of the sale is meeting people where they're at, helping them understand, I've been there. I know how you feel. And I figured out how to get here. And I know that's where you want to be too. That's really the energy of the sale. It's that transfer of enthusiasm, that transfer of energy. And that's where you really get people's attention and interest in what you have to offer. Then it eventually gets to the point where you close the deal, and that's where the transaction actually happens. But ultimately, the sale is happening as you're building the relationship and helping somebody see possibility.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Yes, it is helping. One of the things that I learned early on, and I think you do too, and I know that you hear this also because I hear it from my clients. I don't want to feel salesy. I don't want to be salesy.
Mhm.
And I have to bring it back to there's a difference between sales tactics, salesy tactics
Mhm.
versus making a sale. In
Yeah.
order for you to have a business, you have to make sales in your business, bottom line. Like we have to have income coming
Yes.
into our business. And there's nothing wrong with being well paid in order to help somebody get what it is that they desire. And I think that some of the misses that a lot of new coaches or practitioners kind of get caught in is they're making the sale about them instead of their client.
Yeah.
So I would love for you to talk into that because I know for me that when I got out of my own way and stopped making the sale about me
Mhm.
and my uncomfortableness of, are they going to say yes? Are they going to say no? Am I charging too much? Am I not charging enough? Like all of the crazy goes away when you stop making it about you.
Yeah. I think that's exactly a beautiful way to say it. That's what I say all the time. And one of the things that you said too, I just want to point out, not only is it not wrong to be well paid for what you do in helping others, but if you truly, genuinely care about helping others, you'll learn to receive, you'll learn to be well paid for what you do so that you can keep doing it. Because this will eventually come to an end if you're not making a viable, profitable business out of it. And if you genuinely started this business because you care so much about helping people, then you'll be that level of responsible business owner and understand how to receive for the beautiful work that you put out into this world. And again,
Oh,
that's making it, yeah, right.
amen.
But that's making it about the people who need it and want it and not about you. It's you running a business that is profitable and receives for that work that you're putting out means you get to help more people. And otherwise you're eventually going to have to pay to live. You have to put food on the table. How are you going to do that if your business isn't generating that income? So I think that's a really important point to really understand, because a lot of people have, wealth consciousness blocks where they're like, they feel guilty about receiving money for helping somebody else. And just even talking the energy of the sale, if there isn't an energetic exchange, and money is one of the best ways to make that happen. If there isn't an energetic exchange, then that person, not only that person that you're trying to help, but you yourself are not going to show up as powerfully as you would if that energetic exchange was taking place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know how many, it's so funny because I think about, and I share this with with my clients too. I've bought things before where it wasn't, it, it was an investment, but it wasn't like an investment that I made to like go all in. And so like I've got programs and courses that I probably haven't even gone on
You've
the
never
website.
opened, right?
Right. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And so, this idea of, having something that is that energetic exchange that allows both of you to show up really
Mhm.
powerfully so that
Yeah.
you can show up and be so excited and really bring all of you to the conversation, to the coaching, to the session, whatever it is. And they're going to show up and be excited about being
Yes.
part of it too. And then
Yes.
people get results so much more quickly.
Yes. And they deserve the best version of you. And the way that that best version of you is going to show up is if you are energetically excited about showing up.
Mhm.
And when you are being compensated in a way that feels good to you and allows you not only to help that person, but to help more people,
Yep.
you're going to show up as the most powerful person that you can for them. And they deserve that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So one of the things that you and I were talking about prior was about making an ask.
Mhm.
And this seems to be like everybody kind of gets it intellectually. Yes, I know I need to be asking people to work with me. Yes, I need to know I need to be inviting people to work with me. And yet they get stuck there and they don't actually make the ask.
Mhm.
I want you to share some of your experience about what happens when you make the ask. You
Yeah.
just get to make the ask.
Yeah. Well, and you're right. A lot of people, it's one of the number one things I hear from my clients. They're like, I'm not getting clients. And I say, are you asking?
Mhm.
Right? Like if you're not asking, then it makes sense that you're not getting what you're looking for. You're not asking for it.
Mhm.
And I think that that goes back to what you said earlier, they're making it about them.
Mhm.
They feel uncomfortable. And what I always like to say, how do you think that person who has the problem that you solve, how do you think they feel? They're uncomfortable as all get out right now because they're stuck in a situation that they haven't been able to get themselves out of. And you have the map, you have the steps, you have the process that you can take them through. And without asking, you're not giving them that opportunity. And the ask is a blessing to the person that you're asking. It's again, you're giving them hope, you're showing them possibility where there wasn't possibility before that. They're uncomfortable. The example I use a lot is like if a bunch of people are walking around with headaches and you have the solution, you know how to help them get rid of their headache, and you're not asking, you're not offering that support,
Mhm.
then you're letting people suffer.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
ask is a blessing to the person that you're asking. And guess what? They can say no, they can say yes, and none of that means anything about you. It doesn't mean, another example that I use a lot. No offense to anybody who loves NASCAR, I'm not a NASCAR fan. If somebody asked me to go to a NASCAR race with them, my answer would be no. That doesn't mean that the NASCAR race is any less valuable for the person who values it. It's just not
Yes.
for me,
Yes. Oh,
right?
and,
And
and
that's
by the
okay.
way, I'm in NASCAR country and I'm a no for that too.
I always preface it like there's nothing wrong with NASCAR. No offense
Yeah.
to people who like it. It's just not my jam. And
Yep.
so I don't see the value in going to a race. Like
Yep.
I wouldn't want to go. And I would say no, but that doesn't mean that it's any less valuable for the person who really loves and appreciates NASCAR.
Mhm.
Just means it's not valuable for me. And that's okay. Nobody's done anything wrong. I get to say no and you get to move on.
Yeah. Yes. And that is so, I think that when we allow ourselves to, go into a conversation that way, that there's nothing going wrong here, that we just get to invite somebody into having, again, the transformation, the opportunity to have a different experience of life,
Yeah.
right? That is what they're investing in.
Yeah.
They're investing in the opportunity, they're investing in the support
Yeah.
to navigate the nuances
Right.
that they haven't been able to navigate on their own to have a different outcome.
Right.
That's really what the invitation and the enrollment and making a sale is about. And yet,
Well,
again,
and to go back to what you said earlier too, they're investing in themselves. They're not
yeah,
actually like, and that's where people need to make it not about them.
yep,
That
yep,
person is actually making the investment in themselves and their worth and the value and possibility they see. And they just needed you to show it to them and
mhm,
hold space for them and facilitate the transformation for them. But the investment that they're actually making is in themselves and the version of themselves that they will become.
oh my gosh, yes. And this reminds me of kind of when we go back to the align pillar. And so for those of you that haven't watched that, that was the very first pillar of aligning to your own value and worthiness so that you can also make the ask. what do you say to people who really get stuck with that? You know, like they're like, I mean, I know, we talked a little bit about, showing the value that is available for some people, but how do you help people get over that hump to just make the ask? And I love the way that you say this, because you are like so straightforward. You're like, we're not going to paint anything pink. Like, you're like, look, this is what
Right.
you do, and you
Right.
just do it.
Right. And there doesn't need to be any emotion with it. Now, we all have big hearts. We are all servants by nature. And so we bring emotion into it sometimes. But at the end of the day, you're selling something. It's as simple and concise as that. You're selling something that can change somebody's life. You're a business. You sell things.
Right. Right.
And there is a lot of emotion and connection involved in the work that we do. But the sale itself is just you running a business that allows you to help more and more people. And what you're really doing is saying, hey, I can help you if you're interested. And if they're not, it's okay. It doesn't mean anything about you or your business. And if they say yes, remember who they're really saying yes to. They're saying yes to themselves. And I think that's the biggest thing, is like getting out of our own way. We make it about us. We're thinking so much about ourselves. We're forgetting about the people that we're really looking to help. And that ask, as I said, is a blessing to them.
Yep.
The blessing to the
Is a
person that you're
blessing
asking.
to the person you're asking. Everybody needs to write that down. The
Yes.
ask is a blessing to the person you're asking.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. I think it's also important to remember that I say this a lot. A no just means not right now. Many times the rejection is what takes people out of the game, and they make it mean something that it doesn't. Again, they're making it mean something about them. It has nothing to do with you. If somebody says no to you, it just means they're not ready right now. And it actually doesn't. I always cite the book, The Four Agreements, because one of them is don't take anything personal ever. And this is a perfect opportunity to exercise that. This is not personal. It's not about you. That person doesn't, for whatever reason, they don't feel their worth, or their fears are speaking louder than their truth. They're not ready to say yes yet. That is a beautiful opportunity for you to continue being of service to them, to provide even more value. Hey, it's okay if you're not ready. I'd love for you to stay close in my world. I've got great free trainings that you can access until you are ready to make this a priority in a bigger way. Let me help you until you get there.
yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you for saying that, because this is part of nurturing relationships and connecting with people that makes a difference between just trying to take a stranger and dragging them over the finish line into convincing or persuading them to buy, versus really creating those connections, nurturing people, and then inviting them to work with you when after that relationship has been developed. And you teach that so beautifully too. We create relationships with people, so that we're not just trying to drag somebody across the finish line into a sale.
And that's the last thing you want to do, because if you have to drag them across the finish line, you're going to have to drag them across that finish line every time you meet. If they're not completely convinced and they're not a ready yes, your work as a coach became that much harder, because you're going to be battling them every step of the way. So
for
that's
them to make their own transformation.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's the last thing you want to do. So yeah, the ready yes people are the one that you want to invite in, and the ones who aren't ready yes, you still get to serve them, right? We should always be providing free value and putting that out into the world. That's how we attract people. That's how we invite people into our world. That's how we build the know, like, and trust, which has to be in place before somebody is ready to hand you their credit card and buy something from you. They have to know you. They have to like you. They have to trust you. And part of that no is your face visible? Are they seeing you everywhere? Are they getting to connect with you? The like, are you showing who you really are? Are you being your authentic self? Are you being a goofball if you're a goofball? Are you telling funny stories if you're a storyteller? And the trust, and I think a lot of people miss this, they show the glitz and the glamour of the results, and they forget to connect with people on the pain part. You have to meet people at their pain. They have to understand that you know how they feel right now. Otherwise, if you're just showing them the good, like, hey, I can get you here, we can do this, we can do that, they're not going to believe any of that's possible unless you show them, I get you, I was there, I know how it felt, and I created this. And I want to show you how it's possible for you too. That's the trust piece that we cannot forget. We want to show all of our results. Look, I have this eating plan and I have this other thing and I have, like, okay, but where were you and where are they now?
Yes.
Build that trust.
Oh my gosh, yes. And that connection, again, that is a connection that is part of, the nurture component of,
Mhm.
the 6 steps that we talked about here. Again,
Mhm.
align, design, attract,
Mhm.
nurture, build those relationships, and then invite them to work with you.
Yep.
And this is just so beautiful. I love this conversation. I love having these conversations with you every single time, Nicole. It's so good.
Me too.
To finish off today, I would love to talk about something that I know is important. And I think that this is a component that people forget to do.
Mhm.
When they're not a no now, yes, we're going to continue to serve them, but the follow-up, one of your favorite sayings that I love is the fortune is in the follow-up.
Yes.
Could you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's really and that's exactly what I say all the time. The fortune is in the follow-up. That's where most people miss out on opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Because going back to what we said earlier, they heard the no, they felt rejected, they made it about them, and they never connected with that person again. They never reached out to them again. And ultimately, if that person isn't a ready yes right now, you ignoring them or never connecting with them again means they're never going to be a ready yes.
Oh my gosh, yes, 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 yes.
And
Yeah.
so that follow-up process, and that's one of the things that I teach inside of my program. There needs to be a process in place. There needs to be a system. Mm-hmm. And a habitual, process that you are creating in your business so that you are always connecting with people. And one of the things that, and I'll just share this here, that I always tell my clients to do, if you're on a call with somebody and they decide this isn't the right time for them, here's a follow-up tip. Book the next call before you get off the phone with them. Hey, I know that this isn't something that you're ready to work on right now, but I'd love to stay in touch. Why don't we schedule something for, let's say, 2 months from now, and you and I can connect again and you can let me know where you're at with this. And we can see at that time what might make sense.
Yes. I've had people do that to me before, and it makes such a difference. It doesn't feel icky on my end. I feel really like, wow, they appreciate the conversation. They're not trying to sell me on anything. They really do care about me and they're interested in following up with me at a later time.
Yep. And sometimes a follow-up, this is something I think a lot of people fail to understand as well. Sometimes a follow-up is literally just sending a card in the mail that has no ask, no strings attached. Like every year I tell people around the holidays, I'm like, send holiday cards to your customers, current, past, future, just to say, hey, I'm thinking of you. Or just send a Facebook Messenger message. Hey, you were on my mind. Just wanted to see how your day is going with no ask. Or, hey, I just developed this new resource, whatever it is. And I just wanted to give it to a couple of people to get their feedback and see what they think of it.
Yep.
I'm thinking of you.
Yep.
Not only is it you staying front of mind in their world, I use the analogy like a snooze button. We're all like a snooze button. Like, hey, is it time now? No? Okay, cool. Hey, is it time now? I got something else for you. Here you go. And just as long as you're always showing up and providing value, you're building the relationship, you're furthering the relationship. And when the time comes for them to want to make a decision about doing the thing that they told you that they want to do, they'll remember you. If you've shown up and genuinely connected with them and cared about them and that you've shown up that way in their world.
Absolutely. And that's what makes the difference between creating heart-centered sales. And that's what makes it feel so good for those of us that are in the wellness industry. I mean, we got in this industry because we wanted to serve people. We wanted to help people. We wanted to help them feel better, live happier, healthier lives. And that this is a method, a system that allows us to encompass both. It allows us to serve and also be well paid sharing our gifts with the world.
Yeah.
And you've got some freebies. Speaking of amazing things.
Yes.
I'm excited. We've got your discovery call flow. Is that what it was? Is that, yeah. And also oh my gosh, it's those 6 steps for 6 something. I'm so sorry.
6-figure toolkit.
Yes. That was it. I'm like, no, it's not 6 steps. 6-figure toolkit. And it's amazing. I read through it yesterday And
Yeah.
it's so good. You have been
It's
so
basically
generous.
my journey to six figures. And I went through what my behind the scenes looked like, what I was doing every day as an entrepreneur. It's got my numbers in there and how things really turned around for me when I put a couple of pieces in place in my business. It's got my morning and evening routine, the books that I've read, basically everything that I did on my way to six figures.
It's really a great resource.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Nicole, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yes. Thank you for having me. It's been an honor to be here, and anything I can do and I can share from my experience to help people get out there and make those asks, ask those people to work with you, because as you said at the very beginning, we're making the world a better place when we give people the opportunity to step into that transformation that they so desire.
Absolutely. Definitely grab Nicole's freebies. They're amazing. Follow her on Instagram. She's got the best reels. I crack up all the time. Seriously, like go follow her. Give us your Instagram handle. Is it Healthy Steps with Nicole?
It is now Unscripted with Nick.
Unscripted with Nick. Yes.
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 Beautiful.
So
Nicole,
we're in the
I
middle of
enjoyed
a fun new rebranding. So Unscripted with Nick, and Nick is NIC, and I hope to connect with all of you on there.
Please do. You will love connecting with Nicole.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much, Chris.
Bye, everybody. We will see you guys back here for more of heart-centered connection, building a six-figure practice, really understanding what are these 6 pillars that create the foundation of your business that not only take you into 6 figures, but multiple 6 figures, even 7 figures. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it focused. We're going to keep it heart-centered. And I look forward to seeing you guys back here again tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, everybody.